Here it is. All right, people, we are live. Welcome to Chat Her Up. Today, we have a little special coming in because we got some gossip to talk about. Ooh, honey, it's some hot off the presses breaking news.
Yeah, let me do one thing real quick, Joy. Hold. Let's see if we can hear this. This is gonna be Brit's theme song until after court.
Okay, what is it?
Okay, come on, son, come on.
Sometimes it takes a different approach.
Excuse me, it's a commercial. It messed up.
Okay, well, let me just say this. Welcome to Chat Her Up.
Yeah.
This is Joy and Callie, and Demetrios will pop in at this point. Today,
all right, give me a few seconds.
And this is we're gonna have an episode just talking about Brit Eady and this new lawsuit just filed.
You must be Deluge.
Oh, that's the theme song for her.
That is the song right there.
So let's talk about it. Because
Right.
Brit Eady is now suing Bravo for apparently a bunch of bull crap. According to her, she was sexually harassed. According to her, she was forced to go to work.
Oh.
According to her, she is asking for damages because the picture that we've been talking about all season that would suspend Kenya, she's claiming it's not her. That's what Brit is saying. She's saying that the picture that we saw was not her. Now, I also want to mention that Andy recently posted that Brit was being petty, and there is kind of some rumors. I will tell you this. There are some rumors that Brit is trying to save face because of what's coming down the pipe in the next couple of episodes.
Is that what you took from what Carlos said? That there was something else that happened?
Well, I had heard about Shamia actually talked about this very early on.
Okay.
While this could have even been. I'm thinking these were promos like at the very beginning of the season. And somebody asked Shamia, where did she stand with Brit? Like, whose team was she on? And it was regarding Kenya or Brit. And she said she don't mess with Brit. And she said that during filming, she wasn't sure whether or not it was going to be dealt with. But she said during filming, she had said something very nasty about her daughter. That was the extent of what she said. She didn't go into any details. She didn't say what she said. But I remember us talking about this early on. We just didn't know what it was that she said. We still don't know. But allegedly, it's at least 3 episodes left. And in those 3 episodes, it might be 4 episodes left because, to my understanding, Phaedra was going to be in 4 episodes, and 6 episodes, and she's been in 2. There's at least 3 left, though, but possibly 4. But we know that they get those last few episodes before they go to reunion, so they watch those episodes. Brit had been interviewed by Carlos King and a couple of weeks ago, and Brit was prepared for the reunion. So in a very short window, something else happened, and people are whispering, and I believe it has something to do with what's coming down the pipe in these next few episodes. And some people are saying that it's surrounded around Shamia. And I also think that she's been reading the comments. She's not very likable.
Hold on.
Like, Brit thought she had done something by getting rid of Kenya. She thought maybe, and to some people, she may have been a hero. she thought she was going to be the it girl.
Yeah, she thought that was a power move that nobody else has ever made because Kenya was the person to go after in her mind, that she was the top dog.
And just to add a little bit of stank to this, other people must have thought she was going to be the it girl, because remember the fallout, which we haven't even seen yet, between Kelly and Brit was about the stylist. Remember?
Yes, about the cowboy outfits and other yes, I do remember.
Yeah, but the stylist chose Brit.
Oh, that's why her and Cal fell out.
That's why her and Cal fell out. So people were betting on Brit being the it girl.
I can't. I'm kind of shocked to hear that people really thought it was going to be good for her. I'm shocked to hear that.
I think it was about Kenya. I think Kenya was a villain. And there are a lot of people, myself included, that did not like Kenya, that wouldn't have cared if she was gone. But I also was one of those people that, I really like this show. I did not like Kenya, but I'm similar to the thought of Nene. I always understand why she's good for the show.
Right.
Because she does bring an element of comedy and a little evilness that is needed in reality TV.
Yeah.
Regardless if you like Kenya or not, because I did not. I understood why she was there, because again, I don't just see them just as real people, because while they are real people, there's an element of acting going on here, y'all. This isn't realistic. None of these people are friends in real life, with very few exceptions. On this show, outside of Shamia and Porsha, these aren't real friends for real, y'all. They don't hang out when the show is over. Some of them do.
Not much. I think the older ones maybe.
Yeah, but they don't. They're not real friends, and so they're placed in these situations. That's how I like to look at reality TV. It's a form of art.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a form of art. And they're given situations and scenarios, and drama should happen. I think it's messed up when, like producers bring in this drama, unnecessary drama. They messed it up. I think producers messed it up. They really do have to let these girls do their thing on their own, because the mess is coming. Go ahead.
So, speaking of the producers, so the thing that's getting me is that these people that are looking at this picture, especially the producers, they couldn't tell if that was Brit or not.
Right. That was what's crazy. Now, let's keep it a buck. The ladies probably didn't stare too hard. Once that picture went up, your eyes see what you see, and most people turn their heads.
Most.
So like if somebody had sent me that picture in my phone, or if it was on the internet or in a group, you have time to look at it. But in an open forum like that, if somebody that comes up, your reaction is to turn your head like, come on, Kenya. Like, your natural reaction is to be like, oh man, come on. And turn your head.
So, and then the other pictures that were shown. First of all, you know what I noticed? The second poster, the poster that Kenya put out first, I think, where it had those 4 faces on the front.
Yeah.
And she says, look, this is her. These are the same people.
Yeah, those were really her.
Have you ever enlarged that picture?
I have.
None of them they don't look like Brit.
She's had a lot of work done, but she's
Two
done
of them look like white women.
She's had a lot of work done. She's been in a whole bunch of videos, so you know what she looked like. And a lot of it is because, for whatever reason, Brit is like 36 or something. She's not old. For whatever her reasons, Brit is getting Botox. It doesn't make any sense to me, because it makes you look so much older. I don't know why these girls do that. somebody then told them if you start now, it'll be good for you. I don't know why. Because it makes all of them look so much older. That's the reason why we're debating whether or not Angela's 53 or 43.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you look older. Like what's her name is a very beautiful woman, hands down. Her body is right, her face is right. She's a beautiful woman, Angela, but she looks 10 years older than what she is.
She does. And then on this last scene, the last episode, when they were all sitting on, was that the last one? When Shamia's mom, actually this was episode 4, you might not even remember, but when Shamia's mom was telling the girls, go outside, have fun or whatever, don't let me come out and catch y'all arguing. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she was sitting right next to Angela on the sofa. They looked the exact same age.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. I mean, because they looked like, there's no way there's like a 20-year difference.
Yeah.
So I get what people are saying. Still a beautiful lady, but she does look beautifully older.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And all of them put it in their face.
Mm-hmm.
All of them put it in their face. Because Kelly don't look like herself. And Kelly's a very pretty girl.
Yeah.
I don't know why they think that's necessary. And in their minds, they were probably thinking, let me come on here looking like this so people won't know that I get it. It's unnecessary. It's just unnecessary. Both Angela and Brit both had nose jobs. At least Angela's didn't distort her voice. Brit's distorted her voice because she must have messed up her bridge or something, because her voice, she always sounds like she's nasally.
Yeah, I'd love to hear what she used to sound like before the surgery.
Yeah.
Just really see how big of a difference it is.
She's you can see videos. There's actually videos of her. She did she was apparently going to do a show with Stevie J a couple of years ago. And there's a video of them preparing for probably, I don't know, the demo or the pilot or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was getting her makeup done. And she did something with MTV a long time ago. And she coincidentally, she was talking about plastic surgery.
See.
She was actually talking about plastic surgery. She was talking about, well, if you're going to get plastic surgery, at least make it look natural. And, this old fake accent of hers
Yeah.
is something wrong with her bottom jaw. I need to stop. It's something wrong with her bottom teeth. I see it looks like she got dentures, but I know that she doesn't. I'm not trying to, it's ugly to sit up here and try to, pick apart a woman. I don't think that's cool, although I'm doing it. I'm sorry.
No, I get it.
But, she done lost her mind if she thinks she getting a dime for Bravo. Let's start there. Because you sign away your life when you sign away with Bravo. And these aren't, Bravo isn't some small entity. Their parent company is NBC.
Yeah.
She done lost her mind. They coming with real lawyers. They ain't trying to settle with you just to make you go away.
I hope they don't do that. I really hope they don't do that. But what is it? How is she claiming sexual harassment if it was not a photo of her?
That's a good question. I have no idea.
Because if that was the only picture that was sexually explicit, and she says that wasn't her, then where is sexual harassment? I don't see.
And they didn't dwell on it. The only person
at all.
They had one episode afterward, and they weren't talking about the picture at all. She was just talking about the after effects of it.
Mm-hmm,
and they didn't show the picture. And there was only one other conversation really to talk about her what do you call it? Her whether or not she was loose. And that was when Drew asked her, did you sell it?
Yeah.
She was like, what? The cat. If that was,
my God.
That was the only other conversation. Nobody else dwelled on this girl's past. I could understand if it had become a storyline, and it had not. I think they pretty much avoided that. They only were talking about the fallout and the gun. That's the part that she keeps forgetting. And I also think this is something else. I think Kelly was in an interview. I can't remember the question specifically, but a blogger asked her a question and Kelly answered. It was about Brit Eady. And I can't remember the question, so I'm going to make up a question because of how she answered it. It was something to the effect of, I can't even put it in her answer, Kelly's answers was her whole life is a lie.
Oh.
That was her answer. I can't remember the question, but she answered her whole life is a lie. And I tend to think that Kelly knew a lot about her. Something else that was asked in the interview that Kelly did answer. Kelly answered. They asked her something about whether or not they've ever seen Brit have a gun, and her answer was yes.
Yes.
And they said, well, but she says, I'll admit I did not see it that night. And I really do believe Brit was going to. Not Brit. Kelly was going to come here because her and Kelly falls out. We haven't seen it yet, but they fall out. And I don't even know if they're going to deal with it at all. Because when they were sitting at that table and Kelly said everybody, that was Drew. No, that wasn't it. But anyway, I tend to think that Kelly was going to lay her out. And it wasn't just going to be Kelly. It was going to be Kelly laying her out. It was going to be Shamia laying her out. And, she did not, and Angela. And that was just too many people to be laying her out.
Right. And so a lot of things that have happened on here is because of her actions, not the other people. So the fact that she's filed a lawsuit, I can't wait to see these next couple of episodes because I have no idea what she could put that would really be legit because it's not sexual harassment. So she's already lost that one. I don't know what to expect. So were you shocked though?
Yeah.
Were you shocked to see it that she was going to?
I was shocked. I wouldn't have been shocked had this happened last summer. Had she done that in real time to prevent it from airing, I would have understood that. Because no woman wants to even, that's, if you're a slut, you a slut. But I don't think it's fair when women are slut shamed. You know what I mean? I just don't. I think, you might be, especially on a large scale. It's one thing, and it shouldn't be done then. But it's one thing where, you amongst your friends, and you like, you a hoe. No, you a hoe. Like you, such. But to have it on a large scale on television, in my opinion, it's kind of dangerous for the woman. I think that's very dangerous because on a large scale, like television, reality TV, you start to be taken advantage of and people start to believe that they could, touch you when they're not.
Right.
I'm not saying it's right, but I do think it could be dangerous for a woman. I actually agree with that. About the whole slut shaming. I don't like it. I did not like it when Kenya was trying to do it to Porsha a couple of seasons ago with Bolo, because
I watched that episode.
If she is single and she want to screw that stripper, that would be on her. If she want to be a hoe and she ain't, it ain't like she married, I wouldn't care. It's not my business. I might laugh about it, but I ain't gonna slut shame you about it. But no, I don't think she's gonna win this. I think when you sign away your life, when you sign them contracts.
Especially now that they've had other people that have filed lawsuits and none of them have really been successful.
None of them. The only person who has won a lawsuit that I'm aware of with Bravo has been and Married to Medicine, Mariah. But hers was a little bit different because Mariah was filing because that was her show. She brought that show. She put the concept to the show and all of the people to the show. So her situation was a little bit different. This wasn't like, even like Nene. Nene brought all of the people to the show except Lisa Wu for her first season. But it was a little bit different. Somebody approached her because they wanted to film the show. Mariah actually created the show and shot the show. So Married to Medicine is actually her trademark. That's the reason why if you watch that show, she still gets an executive producer credit.
And she should. And she should. But considering all that, they probably even made more updates to the contracts that they've had these girls sign.
Absolutely.
So
Like
Brit,
they can't even sue. She couldn't even sue Kenya if she wanted to. She could have went to the police.
Always sue them.
She could have went to the police.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you can do. You could do criminal charges. They can never take away criminal charges.
Yeah.
So you can do criminal charges, but you cannot sue a person civilly while they're under contract. Now they're going to go after the network, but she's going to lose. And she's trying to do this to save face. And something is coming down the pipeline. Whether or not they air it now, we won't know. But something is coming down the pipeline that she wants to save face for. Because a couple of weeks ago, when she was being interviewed by Carlos King, she was ready. She was ready to be at the reunion.
Yeah. Let's go over some of the reasons and some of the things that are on the lawsuit. I wish I could post these to show, but it keeps everything's dropping into the backdrop on the screen. It's not letting me do the whole picture. All right. So some of the information says lawsuits demands Eady seeks the removal. I'm sorry, hold on. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Eady seeks the removal of the episode from public access, a public statement acknowledging the falsity of Moore's claims, and monetary damages of at least $20 million.
That's crazy.
Oh,
that's crazy. She lost her mind. She ain't gonna see a dime of that. She ain't doing nothing but wasting her time and pissing Bravo off.
Right. And then more response and consequences. Moore was suspended indefinitely. Be careful. Sorry. Moore was suspended indefinitely. Where we at? From filming after the incident. Seems to me Kenya should sue before them. Thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody says, I don't know how to pronounce this. It's Najid or Nadaj? Nadij.
Yeah.
Per what's shown, Brit, I definitely agree with this. She is wit deficient. She may not feel like she can. And she's so defensive. That's the reason why she was fighting with Kenya, is because she's so defensive. She's, like I said, she's a girl who's been watching reality TV since she was 12. And she doesn't know how to just chill. She thinks she has to defend everything because she's just always on the defense. That's really what happened with Kenya. She knew Kenya because she'd been watching this show since she was for 10, 15 years. So she thought she knew Kenya. So Kenya saying something small in her mind is, let me get ahead of this because you ain't finna talk to me no any other way, even though it's about my ring and it's something so silly when you say this is my second ring. Right. Where you're thinking, oh, this your second marriage? That is a normal question under those circumstances. And then she was like, no, this is my upgrade. Usually that's how people, they don't normally say this is my second ring. They'll say, oh, I just got an upgrade. That is normally how people respond. But, she's so defensive and wanted to be so offended because she wanted to make a statement, and Kenya's probably right. They have to sit with them producers and they have to be like, you're gonna have to show us something to be able to stay. And sometimes they overpromise things. That's like Porsha did this season. We overpromise things that we can't bring.
So here's something else that it says on here. It says Eady's claims. Eady asserts the images were not of her and that Bravo's broadcast of the episode falsely implied they were.
They did not. At no point. They just said that they're not going to show those images.
Do you think they'll take the entire episode off?
They shouldn't, because they didn't do anything. They didn't show anything.
And she said she's also suing the network for defamation, emotional distress, in addition to sexual harassment. And then she says, and a hostile work environment. Are you serious? She's the one that caused the hostility.
She's the one that caused that. And what makes it so bad, Candy would have had a better case than her with the Phaedra situation. She would have had a better case. That's why the network, I believe, in my opinion, I don't know this for a fact. I ain't got no inside information. But I think the network was I don't want to say placating to Kid Candy after that. That's why I think she got all them shows.
Yeah. Brit's not going to get any. Brit's not going to. I don't think she's going to get anything out of this lawsuit. And I really hope that they will not settle just to shut her up.
No, they shouldn't. Because it's ridiculous. You sign away your life. She can't. You can't. It's not going anywhere. Like, period. It's not going anywhere.
Let's see if she has anything else on here.
She ain't doing up a wasting her money.
So it stems from the incident where a sexually explicit photo was displayed during a filming of the show. False implications. Eady claims the false implied that she was the person. Okay, so that's really all it is. It's those 4 points only that she's suing for. The grounds for that, Brit, I think you should just go ahead and have several seats over there in the pew so you can begin to pray, because this ain't it. Yeah, I just don't see how she's going to do this.
Yeah, she does. She's looking bad. She's just not likable, and she looks bad. And instead of her like taking some kind of account, she keeps saying she's taking accountability like somebody else isn't, because Kenya, Lord forgive her, I can't stand her, but she, every time you talk to her, she apologizing.
She does.
So, I was like, girl, I apologize to her. Now she's saying it ain't her. Kenya should have been back. They should have let Kenya. They shouldn't have, like, for real. If the network was a thinking network, they would have maybe suspended her for a couple of episodes.
Yeah.
And told Kenya, look, I don't know what you got to do, what tap shoes you got to put on, but I need you to make nice with that girl.
Yeah.
And even if she ignorant with you, you're going to have to bite your tongue. And Kenya would have had to be the company girl this season.
Right.
The reality is, every season, every franchise has a company girl. And Kenya's been there long enough to know that exists.
Right. I don't know if everybody has heard or seen the post that Brit Eady made, her initial her addressing that she's leaving. It says, as everyone is now aware, I'm not attending the reunion. This was my decision. The events of the season have devastated me. And while I cannot say much right now, I do want to set the record straight about one thing. The graphic sexual photos surrounding the events in episode 5, the photo was not me. Then she says, as the episode makes clear, I did not see the photo at that time. Rather, I was made aware of the photo being presented at that event. And based on what I was told, assumed that it was somehow a photo of me, which is why I reacted in the way that I did. How did she react? Her reaction was after her and Kenya did it at the dinner thing. But she said she would not have acted the way she did had she known it wasn't her. She didn't do anything after that, as far as the pictures, did she?
Like I said, they've only dealt it was 2 episodes. One episode they followed when they were outside. I think it was Kelly's event, and they were talking about it, and she cried and was talking about her license up for review, which was a whole lot of girls. She lied for no reason. That girl had closed their business in 2023. You don't have to believe me. Google works.
Okay, so it says, I do not know who was in the photo, but upon seeing it for the first time recently, it wasn't me. So the funniest thing about that to me is Kenya can still say, who is this hoe? Who is it? Nobody knows who it is.
What's stupid is, if that wasn't me and I just recently found out, I would have went to that reunion and dropped that bomb.
I would have too. So what made her? Oh God, I cannot wait to see these episodes.
Like, where did she even find it? She would have to have found those posters,
right? And you think Bravo showed them to her?
I don't have no idea. She would have to find that poster that Kenya had.
It would be nice if, when it first came out, that Brit could have easily said, well, I'm not on video doing anything to anybody's third leg. So I don't know who y'all got.
I mean,
but because she's had that because she's been in that position so many times over the years, according to her, as far as things she was doing when she was a teenager. The funny part is when she had to check first, which she never did. Could be me because I do that. But but
if you told me, you told me, girl, so and so had a picture or a video of you giving fellatio to some dude on that she found on the internet, I would say you a lie and the truth ain't in you.
Right.
Because that ain't nothing. I'm not, well,
you a lie.
I'm just saying, ain't nobody got a picture of me doing it. Let me just say that.
Right. Now I haven't been there, but that's kind of funny. I ain't sure if it's me or not, but I definitely know that I've done it. Okay. So, oh well. Brit, I think she is reaching for straws. Maybe she's just trying to get an upgraded house or something, or pay for that Rolls Royce they were looking at on one of them episodes.
She's fake. That's what I think. Bravo is, I said in one of your clips that you put on TikTok, I was like, who in the hell did this woman screw?
Yes, I saw that.
No, I was like, I want to see her audition tape.
Yeah.
Like, what did she say or do to get this spot? Nothing about her says housewife. Nothing.
Right. And she didn't just get the spot. She got Kenya kicked off. So what the heck happened? Now, I do think one reason why I hope that Bravo really does fight her is because she's already made them look stupid one time by saying that she didn't have a weapon. Did they even ask her? Not until 3 days later.
Yeah,
she should have been fired big time, having a weapon in any conversation, threatening somebody like that. So she's too confident. She's too confident to go out here and file a lawsuit when you were the one that initiated everything.
That's also Bravo's fault. Because again, there's no reason why you, a woman, and Kelly, in my opinion, I blame her a little bit for this.
The way she went out.
Yeah, like you want to talk about the fact that you've seen her with a gun because she always carries one, but you said that only after you all fell out. I blame Kelly for that.
Yeah.
Like, because I really, really do, because telling when you mad, in my opinion, don't matter. Telling in real time because it's the right thing to do is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And if she had stood on that, it would have been a totally different situation. Both of them could have been suspended if that's what they chose to do. Or what Kenya's reaction may not even have happened if they had just suspended her. Because the thing that bothers me is that Housewives has been on for over 20 years at this point. I think OC is their 21st season, or is it their 20th season?
I think it's 20.
OCs, I think this is their 20th season that they're filming right now. So Housewives has been on our televisions for 20 years. In 20 years, in all of those franchises, now one person has threatened to go get their pistol and their whips to hurt one another housewife.
Right. And let us not forget about the video where she says, I always have my weapon.
Right.
Oh, yes, I take my weapon everywhere.
She said she don't even go to the gas station
without her weapon. So
we're supposed to believe that she didn't show up that day with her weapon. Right. It might not have been on her person. It might not have been on her person, but she had it, or her husband had it.
As she said, and we always do. So you look, Bravo, she got you. You gonna let them do it a second time? Kenya kicked off the show.
I don't even like Kenya, and I'm like, I know, right? For Kenya.
I mean, really, a lot of people that don't like Kenya, I love her. A lot of people that don't still want Brit gone over her. Bring Kenya back so the haters can keep hating. They're not haters. So whoever doesn't like her can get back to not liking her. And the ones, bring back the normalcy. This stuff Brit brought in, she's extremely emotional. She's quick to stand up off the chair or the couch, wherever, and walk towards somebody.
Get in your face.
She's very bold.
She's very combative.
She is
very combative. You can't even be friends with somebody like her.
It's hard to, right? You can't have a conversation sometimes without them taking it the wrong way. So when her and Porsha got into it, was that a preview or was that in the last week's episode?
That's coming up. That's coming up. She asked Porsha, and I am totally convinced that episode where Brit and Porsha meet somewhere and they're talking about the incident and Brit is taking accountability, I am totally convinced that that is what they call a callback scene. Those are scenes that now I'm more and more convinced of that because nobody's rocking with Brit. That's one of those scenes at that point toward the end of the season, Bravo had made a decision to get rid of Kenya. That they weren't going to bring her back. So they have to make Brit likable. So they had Porsha, their company person, meet with that girl and make that girl apologize. Because if you've noticed, Brit has never taken accountability for what she said to Kenya one time amongst the group. The only time she has is with Porsha. And I can guarantee you that scene was filmed after they had filming with the ladies had ended.
Yeah, her and Porsha did well. It looks recent. She posted a picture of her and Porsha recently sitting on a bar somewhere. So even though it sounds like
I think that was the same episode.
Oh, so you think it's an old picture?
I think that's the same. I think they were there together to shoot that scene, and they posted that picture.
Okay, but can we just be honest? If you down there doing whatever you're going to do to your man, if I just walk in on you, which that's never happened, but I'm just saying, I'm going to look at you and know if it's you or not. This seems really shady that she thinks or wants us to think it wasn't her. I mean, if I know you, right, I'm going to recognize you.
In the words of Angela, you think she has stretch marks on her?
You got miles on them, man.
I'm just ticked off that this girl is just disrupted this whole show.
Right.
That's the part that's ticking me off.
And Bravo kind of helped her do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's ridiculous. They helped her do it.
This is their fault. At this point, I'm not even. They bet on Brit. They took a bet on Brit.
Yeah, they did. They didn't do any kind of vetting because there's no way in the world that they could have. Not seen the video where she admits her
she was so top heavy because I'm sure she's getting paid a lot of money.
Nene sure to share that in an old interview how they got her to be casting agent without paying her for such. Yeah. She didn't realize then that was to do.
Yeah, because she cast in the first season. She cast everybody but Lisa Wu. Kenya is GNX. Oh, Generation X. The girl that taught that such activity is shameful. You're correct. I'm Gen X. You're correct. But you know, I agree. Yeah, we did do that. Yeah, we do that, and we still do. And I know I do it in small doses. I just always thought it was dangerous to do it in large doses. Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of like. What kind of angered me on Real Housewives of Potomac when Mia had brought up Giselle's daughters. I think it's really scary when you try to slut shame those girls that are on college campuses. You be kind of scared for those girls. I do understand the ramifications of doing that. Again, I'm okay with it in small doses. If I'm at home and me and my girlfriend, gossiping, shooting as my auntie would say, shooting the shit, I don't care. I don't care. But in large doses where it could get out to a lot of people, it's kind of scary to girls.
Yeah, it is. I wouldn't take it too easily.
People take things too literal.
Right. So, so this entire season has not given what a lot of people expected it to give. Unfortunately, Porsha didn't get to come back and talk about, her family, her husband, etc. And so she's going in different directions. That's making us all uncomfortable because we know that's not what she wanted. And it's definitely not something that the audience seems to be enjoying, although the rates did go up last week. And then you got Brit, who's a total lie. Then you get Shamia and Porsha fighting over their friendship. That seems like it's been going on entirely too long. And then you get Brit and Drew. So can we talk about that seating chart?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if you all have seen the seating chart. Let me open it up on here to kind of tell y'all how it is.
Yeah.
And Bravo released this. This isn't
Another blogger or something.
Yeah, this isn't a blogger. So of course you got Andy in the middle. I'm looking at them. Okay. So to my left is Porsha, Phaedra, and Cynthia. That's it. To my right, again, I'm looking at the chart, is Shamia, Angela, Kelly, and Drew. I don't even know what that means.
Okay, I don't even know why Drew was at the end of the couch. What is up with that? She was the storyline on just about every other. She did.
I don't know why y'all keep saying that, because I totally disagree.
Because they keep talking about her.
I mean, they're not really talking. First of all, this season was a dud, but Drew wasn't even in 2 episodes the whole season. She was in.
Her name was.
It actually wasn't. The scene, the episode that Cynthia had her Juneteenth celebration. I don't know if y'all know that, but at the the last 3 or 4 minutes of the episode, the only time we saw her is Drew walking in the door. And she did say something, but that was the extent of her from beginning to end. And the episode before that, she wasn't in at all. And she didn't, so it was 2 episodes back to back. She didn't have personal segments. We talked about it in real time. And then the next episode, she wasn't in it, but Ralph was. And that's the one where Shamia had and Ralph met up, and then Porsha popped in.
Let me ask you a question. Serious answer. Did you miss Brit Eady not being on the seat chart? Which did you see first, the lawsuit or the seat chart? Because when I saw the seat chart, I didn't even realize she wasn't on there until I heard somebody else say it.
I noticed it. I was looking. I was like, somebody's missing, isn't it? I kept looking. I was like, somebody missing. I kept looking. I was like, whoa, Brit not there.
Brit, where you at?
Yeah.
I didn't miss a thing. I didn't miss her. But why isn't Angela in Shamia's first seat?
I actually would agree with that. I honestly thought that Angela, and I'm trying to figure out why they sit next to each other, because Angela don't like Shamia.
Right.
She thinks she's stupid because she treats her like she did. Angela treated her like the weak link. You notice they didn't go to Porsha not once about her friendship. Like, why are you treating your friend like that? They went to Shamia, and people do that in friendships. When people have too close of friendships and they want to break up that dynamic, especially in reality TV, they have to find a weakest link. They never go to the friend that's going to cuss them out. They never go to the friend that's going to walk away or just, girl, I ain't not going to have this conversation. And Porsha did literally just that. She reacted emotionally, but she got up, did not say a word, and got in a car. Shamia didn't have the strength. Like, this is my thing about when friends break up. You can talk all day long about being somebody's real friend, but your real friendship has to be tested. It's not just something that you do. It's something that it's get tested. It's proven over time. It's easy to be a person's real friend when the situations are outside of you. When the situations don't have anything to do with you, you can always stand with somebody. But as soon as a situation touched Shamia personally, when it involved her about her relationship with Porsha, she folded. That's not real friendship. I mean, it almost looked like, I hate to repeat Angela's words, but I think she said it perfectly. Shamia been playing the long game with Porsha.
A lot of people have.
One thing about Porsha, if you watch this show, love her or hate her, Porsha has always been self-centered and selfish. She has always been that way from the beginning. That is Porsha. She may have a maiden personality with her men, but as far as her, Porsha's always thinking about herself and how
she is. But people let her get away with it. That's the problem.
But she ain't switched it up. You can't be mad at a person for being themselves. If that's your friend, you know who your friend is. That's the friend that you cuss out and you say you a selfish so-and-so. Right now I'm pissed off at you, but I'm gonna see you Sunday, right? Because you're still coming over for Sunday, Sunday meal, whatever we do together. But for you to turn on your friend like Shamia has done, we might not be saying that this season, but I can guarantee you next season or the seasons that come, we'll be saying, who want to be friends with somebody that would turn on a friendship that you have for 20 plus years on the 7th episode of being on a reality show with them?
The person that didn't turn on the friendship when they should have. That's who. So she has been a good friend by trying to accept exactly the way that Porsha is, and it doesn't always feel good when you do that. That, in my opinion, anyway.
And I'm not saying that he got to feel good.
But we're talking about friendships, though.
I mean, I have friends that are just who they are. You learn them over time, and you either decide to remain friends with that person because they're this kind of way or that kind of way, or you don't want to rock with them, and you have a right to do that for whatever your reasons are. These aren't forced friendships at this point. You're not friends at this point. Their mothers are not even friends anymore. This was a friendship that they decided to continue after they were adults, even after their mothers fell out.
So, that mother's story is a trip. Did you hear it?
Allegedly,
about the daycare?
Allegedly is about the daycares. Both their mothers own daycares. Mm-hmm. And now we did hear about this. Something
I don't remember it. I don't remember
something when Porsha had first came on Housewives 2016-ish, 17-ish, whatever the year was. There were rumors that they owned daycares. We knew that part, and that Porsha that one of the a child died in their care. And this particular location was having a hard time. And her Porsha's mother, because this was a family business, it was Porsha, her mother, and I think their brother. They have a brother or somebody. And allegedly, her mother was having a hard time holding on to a particular location, and the building was going into foreclosure. Shamia and her mother are really good friends. They're talking on the phone. She was like, girl, I don't care what they do to this building, but I hope don't nobody put no daycare in it. It is what it is. So they let it foreclose. And when it went up for auction, Shamia's mother bought it. And Porsha's mother found out about it, and they fell out over that.
Would you have been upset?
I would have been disappointed, because if you wanted to buy it from me, why not buy it from me? Or even if you wanted to buy it at a lower cost at auction and been like, look, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'll get that location, especially if it's going to be much cheaper, if you think you're going to save some money. But I wouldn't have done it behind my friend's back.
Yeah.
I would have told my friend, that if that person was a friend to me.
Well, I think that's look, I'm gonna leave that friendship alone, because she probably acts just like her mom. Maybe her mom treated Shamia's mom the same way Porsha treats Shamia, which, outside looking in, it's not always pretty.
Yeah.
Why do you think what's a Porsha? Not Porsha, Phaedra. Why is she at the reunion?
Because they wanted.
And why isn't Kenya?
Huh?
And why isn't Kenya?
I see why Phaedra's there. The question is really, why isn't Kenya there? Right. I agree with that. I do think Kenya should have been there, especially with Brit not showing up. I think that's kind of jacked up. Like, Kenya should be able. My daughter had made this point, and I agree with this. It's a 14-year-old girl somewhere that ain't thinking about Housewives, who's going to grow up to be 19 to 20, is going to be bored, and is going to decide to binge watch Housewives of Atlanta. And they're going to get to this season and wonder, did Kenya apologize? What happened? It's almost like you should bravo is in the business of storytelling, they should have at least allowed her to finish the story, even if they had done what they initially told Kenya they were going to do, which was interview Kenya and allow Kenya to tell her story. There should be the ending of this story. And Kenya's willing to play ball. She's willing to be apologetic. She's willing to take accountability. That would have been a good story, because
it really would have. It would have.
I don't know why Bravo, they betted on the wrong girl.
They did. But another thing is, what else could be a reason why Brit decided not to come? Do you think they would have somehow brought up the rumors about her husband and she didn't want to have to address that?
They was going to lay into her.
That was
I think all of that was coming up. I think the situation, I told you, it's too many people who don't like Brit. Brit is not a girl that really does take accountability.
And then I can see Angela sitting there trying to educate her again on that license of hers. She claims that she lost because of this. Well, how do you lose your license over a picture that wasn't even you? It just seems to me there would have been a lot more investigation going on before this all states.
They don't have like morality clauses. That's not a part of that kind of license.
Well, it's not about morality. It's about if what she is saying is true, then they would have done some research to go and see what the issue was to make a decision on if that had anything to do. And maybe they said it doesn't, but somehow her license is still suspended, allegedly. It just, I don't know that I believe any of that.
This is also something that they didn't air, but I know was said there. And this is the only leg I thought that she had to stand on. If y'all go back, you might be able to find some old people that were there, that were physically there. At some point, they were recording. There were some people that were in that room that were recording. And Kenya did insinuate that she was fraudulent with their business, that it was some kind of fraud in her business.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can't remember the details, and I don't even know if...
I think it was that pamphlet that she said was a training book for insurance. That it was a 2-page book thing for like $1,000.
I don't know, but yeah, it could have been. It was some kind of fraudulent something.
Yeah,
that would have been her best bet to hang on. Nothing about that picture could have gotten her license suspended.
I wouldn't think so, but just the fact that she brought that up, I mean, she probably would have had to explain herself at the reunion. A lot of that reunion really would have been dedicated to her and what people look at as her faults.
Yeah.
So she wasn't interested in doing that. And I really wish that she would have been, because she's so uber cocky. Mm-hmm. If you got that much cockiness and charisma in you to come and go at all that, then bring it on, because whether we love you or hate you, I want to see it. I want to see it. Don't let them back you away now. You didn't run away when they accused you of having a gun. Come through. Let's talk about it. Be as cocky as you've been all season, because that's what I want to see. So I hate that she's not coming. I don't want her to return.
It probably crippled the reunion too. Now, how Andy gonna stretch three episodes out of Brit not being there? Because you're right. You could have talked about her for the whole episode, and that is probably why she didn't show up. She can't take the heat. She couldn't take it. You could tell she can't take it. You can't bring nothing to her.
They could have just had a Zoom meeting and got the reunion over with real quick, like they did during COVID, because there's not a lot to talk about at this point. We don't want to repeat over and over again Shami and Porsha. We don't want to talk about the hot dogs and Drew. These are things that we've been hammered in our head.
This is a really good point. Look at this. Go ahead. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Hold on. Basic. Is this if they revoke her insurance license without doing the due diligence to ensure no pun? Right. That was really a photo of her. Doesn't sound professional at all. Thank you.
Yeah, you proved the point, actually. Because, how you going to lose? That's why I was saying it couldn't have been about that picture. If she lost her license, it was about some kind of fraud. Because that's what you lose your license for. Nobody cares. All kinds of people, former strippers, become real estate agents. They don't care nothing about that. If you ain't stripping in the houses to show them, they don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they just want their money. If you're conducting business appropriately, they don't care any otherwise.
We know that ain't appropriate.
But yeah, so yeah, that's actually an excellent point. Brit lost her license because of something else, if that's true. But if you Google her, that business was closed in 2023. It have nothing to do with this show or her filming, because this stuff was
And
just
she shouldn't even brought it up. She
yeah,
shouldn't have
this
brought it up.
time last year.
Yeah. She just wants to be the person that, oh, I was hurt, and so I got your
She wants to
best
be the
girl kicked
victim.
off.
She wants
Yeah.
to be the victim.
Yeah. Yeah, she does. And so Kenya, I think Kenya has handled all this better than Brit has. And Brit is the one that caused all the trouble. I just think she let it go a little bit to her head, especially at the little event with her and Kel and the other girls, where she snapped at Angela the way that she did. You mean to tell me you all talked to Kenya?
Yeah.
You know. So anyway, I don't know what we're going to see at this reunion now, but I don't know. Kel, as far as think about who's coming back next season, because Kenya put out a post as well, and Kenya says, I look forward to seeing you guys back on Bravo soon. Do you think she'll come back? And do you think
Kenya,
Brit?
She said, I look forward to seeing you.
I know. I saw that. I wonder what that means.
She said, I don't know what that means. It's almost like her suspension was up. I don't know. I don't know.
Can you see Kel coming back?
Who?
Can you see Kelly coming back next season?
Yeah, I don't know why, but yeah, I don't dislike Kelly, but I don't like her either. She
seems like such a sweet little girl, like funny, sweet. I like her a lot, but I don't like her when she picks up what somebody else is talking about and makes it her issue too.
She's messy. Because I don't like that. Kelly was sitting around the table last week and said, I mean, I don't even like if my daughter say, who do you like? I don't even like Drew. My daughter be like, who do you like? I don't even like Drew. But when she said, you got a problem with everybody here, but
she's something else.
But who? I can't even remember who.
What about that baby doll? When Brit called Angela out about the baby, and then here comes Kel. What about that baby doll? You didn't know about that baby doll? I'm like, girl, if you don't sit down with that little red ninja costume of hers on, what was that? We need to have a call where we just dedicate ourselves to the confessionals. All right. Speaking of that, though, their outfits. I would have loved to see what Brit was going to wear to the reunion, because I bet she was going to be dressed down. I like the way she dresses. So she's messing me up. I'm going to send her a personal email saying, you need to show up. We want to see your outfit, and we want to see
my daughter said, my daughter lives in Atlanta. She said she heard her waffles was good.
Really?
Yeah, she said she heard her waffles was good. And she said that's a stretch because Atlanta has terrible food. She said everywhere she goes, it's just one disappointment after another. She says that, and it's too many migrants there. So
too many people on the highway there. That's why I don't like going.
Yeah.
2 in the morning, we stuck on the highway trying to get through the crowd. No, we ain't doing that.
No, she says there's so many people that have migrated from other places and they come there. And so it don't taste like Southern food. It tastes like a mixture of people, everybody trying to open up something. She was like, even the places like Love and Hip Hop, Rashida and Kirk got a restaurant. They have, I'll give them this. They work their restaurant. At any given time, you could go there and Rashida busting tables, which is a good thing. She's not just opening up a restaurant and relying on other people to run it. Like, Candy and Todd and them, they pretty much let other people run their shop. But Rashida and Kirk, they overcharge and their food isn't good. And they charge like a stupid fee to pick up your food.
Yeah.
So it takes.
Well, I wonder if it's more than anybody else, because pick up or even DoorDash, that's always more expensive than if you sit there and eat it.
No, you could decide to go pick it up. This don't have nothing to do with DoorDash. Most of those places, those celebrity places, don't even do DoorDash. You have to go, but if you do decide to go pick it up, they charge you a pickup charge. This don't have nothing to do with DoorDash.
Why are they charging a pickup charge?
And it's like $20. It's not even like $2 or something.
No.
But like Candy and them charge like extreme amount of money for like I don't know, you could order a plate and spend $35 and it's like regular stuff. You know, there's something that you could probably get in anywhere else for $20.
Yeah.
You know, and one could, you know, every once in a while you were dealing, you could argue that it's an experience because when they first opened, at any given time, the sisters used to go to their shop. They used to go there, walk around the tables, take pictures, and they still could be doing that. I know we read the other day that Aunt Bertha has Alzheimer's.
Yeah, no, I know that was really sad.
I know, so she
That was
may
sad.
not be. So that's and Aunt Bertha is the one who we quote the most. We said, "Todd, this could be a scheme
Put
that
on the
Todd
top
set up
to come
come
to
with
you with the bullshit."
Yeah.
All right, let me look at my notes and see if we're missing anything before we get off of here. I'm looking at the Grio right now. Read one of theirs. It says the news of the lawsuit comes shortly after Bravo gave fans a teaser of the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16 reunion. I haven't seen a reunion teaser.
I mean, I doubt that because that they just filmed it yesterday.
I know, but that's what it is.
Maybe they just gave you a teaser of the seating chart or something.
Okay, sharing a glimpse. Yes, you're right. It actually said this. Sharing a glimpse of the reunion scene. Fans quickly noted a Peach was dating quickly. I didn't miss her. But anyway, fans quickly noticed that there was somebody missing. They weren't sure who it was, but now we all know it was Brit Eady. Nobody missed her. It's so sad. But can you have any other notes or something that we should cover before we get off of here?
No.
Despite repeated requests,
people, and I've read a couple of comments. There are people that feel like she has a claim.
Here, let me read this. Despite Edie's repeated request prior to the airing of the episode at issue, the defendants show her the photograph. Oh, okay. So she's saying she asked for the photo and didn't get to see it. The defendants refused to show her the photo. By way of foregoing, defendants contributed to a hostile work environment and sexually harassment. Offensive behavior, all that's the same. But so she's saying she asked for it before the shows were aired and they wouldn't let her see it.
Kenya. She should have asked Kenya because the network, I wouldn't have passed that picture on anyway. It would be like them passing it on to her.
She couldn't, Kenya wasn't even gonna take a flower from her. So I can see why she didn't ask Kenya, but she definitely should have went to Bravo to ask for the. I'm sorry, she did go. Bravo definitely should have been able to help her with that, don't you think?
The only thing Bravo could have done was showing her the video because I'm sure Kenya kept the cards, the cue cards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think that they could have at least facilitated something to get to her so she could see that. And to me, I don't think she'll win, but little stuff like that doesn't help Bravo's case. Because she's basically saying, had I known that ahead of time, I would have had the episode never even air. And I asked you guys ahead of time and you wouldn't show me.
Well, all I know is Brit Eady went on Watch What's Happening Live after these episodes aired. And she didn't have a problem with it.
She sure didn't. So whatever's in these next few episodes is going to be quite interesting.
Yeah, I think that's what, like, she didn't been interviewed. She didn't talk. Like I said, Carlos King said he just interviewed her a couple of weeks ago. She was eager and ready for the reunion. Something happened in the last couple of weeks. And I'm telling you, I believe that it's based off what I don't know what we're going to see in the next couple of weeks, and it could be about Shamia and the fact that girl been watching episodes. She's not likable, and her episode of not the last episode, but the episode before last of her having her event went so poorly, and people coming after her afterwards saying she ain't paid the vendors.
Look, I forgot about that little messy event.
Yeah, like she has not had a good season. She's not coming across well at all.
So Carlos said something that I didn't know, but I guess it makes a lot of sense. He said that all of the people got together to watch the last few episodes so that they will all have watched it before the reunion. And so it was in that situation that Brit made her decision to
That's
then
what I
leave the
said.
show.
And he's like, yeah, that's what I've been saying.
Mm.
That there's something in the next couple of episodes that we're going to see why she didn't show up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well. All right. Let me see. We got any more comments out here? Let's see.
What was her demeanor on Watch What's Happened Live? She was jovial, dodging questions. She thought she was cute, honey, with some kind of cowhide on her body.
That was cute.
Okay.
And that's why, well, allegedly, that outfit being so cute had a little bit of something to do with why her and Kelly don't like each other. Because her stylist made Brit look a little bit too cute.
I don't know if you got Peacock, it's on Peacock. You can watch What's Happening Live on Peacock, and you can Google pieces of it. She even talked about her not having a gun, not handling guns, and like Brit, and they talked about the gun situation. He even Andy was even trying to get to the root of what did Kenya say to you? Did we miss something that wasn't filmed? He was
very telling.
Yeah, he was trying to get to the root of what really happened, because what we saw on screen couldn't have been it. And she confirmed that was it.
Yeah, that's very telling. So, and then it made me think that Andy probably, I wonder how engaged he is before a reunion or before Watch What Happens Live for him to ask that, which I thought was a good question. But I wonder how much they keep from him.
Yeah, I mean, he's watching a lot of stuff with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
He might see some of the cutting room. Did Andy look like she liked her? He didn't seem like he disliked her. I don't think, because you kind of get the impression that this could have even been, this was her first time in the clubhouse.
Oh, and one last thing. Why has Drew, do you think Drew's leaving the show? Why hasn't she been on Watch What Happens Live? Kelly has been on there twice.
She should leave. I don't think she's a good housewife. For one,
you don't think Drew is a good housewife?
Drew's career seems like it might be going in a good direction. She got that auto-tune sing rap thing going on. Maybe this will work for her. I don't. She's not interesting to me, and she lied too much to even gauge anything. I mean,
did you just say auto-tune?
She does use auto-tune.
Everybody does.
Not everybody.
But she can sing. We saw her sing solo at the last.
I'm not arguing that whether or not she could sing or not. I think that
without auto-tune, it's not. You mentioned auto-tune.
Mia has a way better voice than her, but I like Drew's.
How do you know that? We've only heard Shamia sing for 30 seconds.
But she actually has sung without auto-tunes as well. I don't like auto-tune music, period.
Send me the songs where you say Shamia sounds good.
It wasn't a song. It was just her singing. She's like sung
on the show or what?
She actually has sung on the show. She was singing on the show in like one of the first or second episode going up the steps. Shamia,
is that the one where Porsha said that ain't her?
No, she was just singing.
That's Drew.
She was just singing. Yeah, I thought that was real shady. In my opinion, the reason I thought she was confused is because it was auto-tunes. Auto-tunes tend to make everybody sound similar. I'm not taking up for Porsha because I did think she went on too long with it. Kind of like the railroad thing. Like if somebody tells you that's them, then you should shut up. But they do sound alike, and that's because of the auto-tunes.
I don't think they sound anything alike. I really don't.
I don't like auto-tunes music unless you T-Pain. It ain't cute to me at all.
All right.
Oh, let me also say this. Let me answer this. Heard it was tacky. The country club event. Heard it was tacky. No food for the guests, and it was she didn't reserve the room.
Yeah. Did she think that was not going to show?
So anybody could have just walked in there. So that was why some of the problems that they were having. So they set up, and that's why the setup people was taking a long time. That's the reason why they had to do that beginning stuff, pretend like they were golfing and all that silliness, because the room wasn't ready. The room wasn't ready because it was guests in there. And according to the lady who cooked the food the people that did eat, she hasn't paid her.
Yep.
And
1,700.
And Brit tried to make sure that bloggers were fed. So they wouldn't talk about it. Because
but they were all sitting right there together. Well, how would they not have talked about it? I just thought that was
and they talked about it, and they end up talking about it.
I didn't like the pink polka dot dress. I'm just saying.
Yeah, she wasn't ready. The reality was Brit wasn't ready. She wasn't ready for this. What the person say, it's believed due to Drew defending Kenya's honor that may annoy Andy and or Bravo brass. Oh, that may be. I don't know. That may be.
Joy, you Taurus? No, Joy's a Capricorn. I was looking at the Taurus.
Taurus rules the throat. Oh, they're both Tauruses. I got
Wait a minute, hold on. Somebody brought up Flatline. Porsha song Flatline didn't chart.
It fell flat. Thus, yeah, I didn't like that song either.
I'm trying to think of the memory.
They feel low-key envy Shamia's vocal ability. Yeah, Shamia can actually sing. I don't think that Porsha she can't sing, but she don't sing like Shamia. Shamia, I don't even like her either. Shamia has the most soulful voice, but I don't like that song. I like Drew's music. That's that old rap singing. You either like that or you don't. I don't.
But her record this time has rap singing on it. Drew doesn't. That's not on all of her other music. So this is just a new album in a different direction. And I think she sounds good, but she is no longer with Dennis, according to Dennis. So I wonder if they're still her album just came out. Why wouldn't she be with Dennis still? Somebody else signed her to a contract, but it wasn't Dennis. Anyway, or was it Dennis? No, because he was on the video.
I was kind of confused about that. I know she signed a deal. So, but I do remember Dennis saying she's no longer signed to me, but it sounds like somehow he's still involved. It could have been a situation where he produced the album, but who you make a deal with don't have nothing to do. Like you could produce an album and be somebody. I don't really know. I'm taking a guess here, but it sounds like to me he still will get like producer credit.
Well, it's a good album. I will say that it's a good album. But the theme song for Brit, for me, especially with her not showing up, Delulu, I'm going to post that as soon as we get off the call. It's going to be a video dedicated to Brit Eady.
Right. Wait a minute.
All her favorite outfits.
No, she hasn't paid the caterer. According to the caterer, they've been on social media talking about it too. She hasn't paid. It was a business luncheon again. Isn't that a tax write-off? Please pay your salary. Yeah. They're ticked off about it too. I want to say they filed a lawsuit, but they were talking about it. Whoever that caterer was, you can go on like TikTok and like in a search bar and put Brit's caterer, or the brunch. They're whoever that person is, they're talking about it. So
okay. And why am I really looking up Brit's caterer?
Yeah, it's on TikTok because I've seen it. I didn't really take much interest in it once I heard it once. She didn't pay her caterer, I believe it. You know, Brit is one of those people, you know, she just wasn't ready for this. She wanted to be.
Yeah. Well, and maybe she'll be able to pay the $1,500 back after she gets her lawsuit won.
People think they're going to settle. I don't think.
But why would they? I think that's going to give me a headache.
Bravo doesn't settle. This is NBC, y'all. They're a subsidiary of NBC. These aren't people with no lawyers. These are top-notch lawyers. Nobody that I know of has won a lawsuit against Bravo. Nobody.
Good.
Nobody but Mariah.
Well, not good, because some people might have had some serious issues, like Nene even did at some point. But in this case, I just don't. Brit, stop. I just don't see this going anywhere. All right, Joy, is that it?
Yep, I think that's it. All right, thank y'all so much for tuning in. We're going to see what's going to happen with this lawsuit, but my prediction is it goes nowhere. What's your prediction, Callie?
I don't think it's going to go anywhere, and I'm about to post Delulu with her face all over it, so thank you guys for joining us.
Peace out, y'all. Peace out. That's so funny. Ah, let me come over here. All right. Bye.